Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy the Bearded Biker, and today I'm talking about an iron butts. What is an iron butt and who has one? Stick around and find out.
Whether coming or going, Moto Nation, USA, always on.
Okay, as I said, we're talking about iron butts. What is an iron butt? Well, technically it's not your rear end made out of a type of metal. No. Iron butt is typically used to describe a type of riding, long endurance riding 1,000 or more miles in one single day. Is there an iron butt ride? Well, that's a yes and a no. There are iron butt rides. Iron butt is technically an association, the Iron Butt Association. I'm going to put a link in the comments down below. That link is going to have lots of information that you can go to, lots of different types of rides. I'm going to touch briefly on those, but for the full detail, you're going to want to check out their whole website. That's where you get certified. That's where you're going to get your certificates. That's where you're going to turn in your paperwork. That's where you're going to get pretty much everything associated with iron butt riding. Now, what is an iron butt ride? Well, that's technically not a ride. What you'll have is a saddle sore. Saddle Sore 1000 is the very base form of the iron butt ride. It's 1,000 miles in 24 hours. So what you need to do is ride 1,000 miles inside of 24 hours, and you just did a saddle sore. That's the basic iron butt ride. It's the basis or the beginning level for all the other rides. Next is a bun burner 1500. Now there's three levels of bun burner. There's the bun burner in 36 hours, 1,500 miles in 36 hours. Then you have bun burner silver, which is 1,500 miles, same distance, but you decrease the time, come back to 30 hours. Then there's the bun burner gold, which is the same 1,500 miles, but within 24 hours. There's a whole bunch of other rides that are considered iron butt rides, and you'll need to check out their website. I'm going to put the link down below. Like I said, you're gonna find a whole bunch of, there's coast to coast, north to south, I-35, southern end to northern end. There's a whole host of different rides, a whole bunch of them. Well, once you get into it, it's fun. They're very fun to do with a partner. My friend that I ride with, and over at Texas Small Town Rides, his name is Darren Gallagher. Check out his channel. Put a link to that down below as well. We've made videos together at Texas Small Town Rides, and now we're making videos together here at Moto Nation USA when I can get him to come on the channel. Shout out to you, Darren. So, how do you do one? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, it takes a little bit of preparation. In order to go, if you've never done one before, you need to do a little preparation. It's not difficult preparation. You just need to think about where you're going to go, because they have some rules there that you're going to need to read. You need a dated business receipt within every 350 miles. So you have to think about your journey, the logistics of it. How far between gas stops? You're going to need dated business receipts. How do you get those? Well, the easiest way to get them is when you fill up your gas tank with gasoline, have the gas pump print one out. You'll take a picture of that, and you'll take a picture of your odometer, and you'll write down the little stuff. It makes it easy for bookkeeping and so forth. I've got some papers I'm fixing to show you here in a moment, but that's the simplest form of it. So you get your dated business receipt, which is whenever you're going to want to go to gas stations that are open 24 hours. I don't know if you've ever printed those receipts before, but sometimes they're out of paper or they don't work. In that case, you're going to need to go inside and get it. What you're going to need to put on those receipts is, or what the receipts need to have is an address. They need to have the time, so they can track your route. You can use Spotwalla and your GPS as well, but that's a different recording system, and usually Premier members use that, meaning you pay a $40 annual membership to the Iron Butt Society. I have done that a couple of years now, so I'm a Premier member. Your paperwork's going to get processed faster, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So do a little preparation. plan your route. A good planning tool is Google Maps, but if you're using Harley Davidson, my Route Planner app works. So plan your stops. QTs are open 24 hours. Buc-ee's, if you're in Texas or down here in the South, Buc-ee's are open 24 hours. I'm not sure of the gas chains that are going on in the north. I done Earth to Moon, which was Earth, Texas to Moon, Pennsylvania. So I did go up there, but I'm not. T&A's are open 24 hours. There are some gas stations. The Love's travel stops are open 24 hours. So you're just going to want to plan, if you're able, to go from a gas station to another gas station. Depending on the size of your tank, you'll plan out your routes, 150, 200 miles. Maybe if you got a really good tank or good gas mileage, good gas economy on your bike, 250 miles. But you're going to want to plan that out where you get to a place where you can get a dated business receipt that's got the time and it's got the address. So then you write your odometer miles on there and you take a picture of it next to your odometer. You're going to submit those later on. Then I've got some links to some paperwork here on the screen that I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to hold up the paper for you to look at real quick here. But I'm going to also show you a clearer copy when I talk about it. So this is the basic form. You'll print these out from that Iron Butt link that I put down below. They'll have the whole application and how to fill out the process. And you just follow their guidelines for that sort of thing. I'm not going to go over them all, but I'm going to go over the major factors and the things that you may not be readily apparent, like getting a receipt. If it doesn't print one, you got to go inside. Make sure, because Iron Butts take 24 hours. It's going to be late in the night, early in the morning. You're going to want to make sure you get that dated business receipt. These are very important for your ride log. So after you get those dated business receipts, you take those business receipts and you fill out your ride log. You do this on this piece of paper. All right, I'm calling up that thing. So you'll see the first stop here. It says 12:26:20 in the upper left. It says start with a little red. It says 12:26:20. I started at 8:14 in the morning. I was in the central time zone. My motorcycle odometer reading was 25,802 miles. The GPS odometer, that's your trip meter that you can set on most motorcycles. And I was at Buc-ee's, 2800 South I-35, East Denton, Texas. And I gave a phone number just in the event that they need to call them or verify that sort of thing. Then stop number 2, 12/26/20. Again, this was the day after Christmas of last year, you can see. 10:39 was the time I stopped. Again, that's on the receipt. That's why it's important. Central time zone. Then I gave the motorcycle odometer meeting, 25,969. That was 167 miles on the motorcycle. And then that was Love's travel stop, number 610, 133, U.S. Highway 283, North Baird in Texas. And then you go on and you list each stop. If for whatever reason there's a discrepancy, for somehow you couldn't get the receipt, you can move to another place quickly and get the receipt. Don't just give up. There are alternatives. You can put that description in there. And if your ride log goes longer than 10 stops, they've got 2 pages. You can see them on the screen there, the left and right, so you can record all your travel stops. Maybe some receipts you can see on stop number 4, there's no time in there. That's because that receipt didn't have a time. That's why it's not there. You can describe that in the description content. Moving on, we've got the rest of this stuff. Now, the name of the start city, I'm going to follow up 2 more pieces of paper. You'll see these on the left and the right. Again, this is all part of the package that you print out. I'll pull that screen up there so you can take a look at it. It says name of the start city, Denton, Texas. Name of the saddle sore in city, which was Denton, Texas. I kind of went in a loop. Again, when you're planning, you're going to want to make sure that you get the furthest corners. So if you go in a rectangle or a box, make sure that you get those corners. There's a gas stop in each of those 4 corners. That way they can know that you went the whole distance, because they might just put in the cities that you went to, put it in Google Maps, and if it doesn't quite make 1,000, you may disqualify yourself. So you just want to make sure. Then you put in the number of miles. I had 1,057 for this. On your certificate, you can highlight up to 5 cities. I put Denton, Ozona, San Antonio, and Temple. Then, you certify it and you sign it. You're going to be sending your check. Now, what you're ordering is on the next page. You've got the full Monty verification and certificate, the full package. There's different prices for getting verification for what you're going to do. So you'll figure out what you want to do. You'll make about a check and you'll send it into that address. There's a little checklist of documents needed for Iron Butt certification. Witness forms for starting and stopping. Since I'm a Premier member, I don't use that. I just use my dated business receipt. It's a little quirk in their rules, but that's their rules, and I'm getting their certificate. So follow that. Copy of the ride log. That's the first sheet of paper that I showed you. Copy of. So you take your Xeroxes, or you take your receipts for gas, and you copy them, like photocopy them, and you send that in. A map, maybe a photocopy showing the routes. What I do is put it on Google Maps, I do a screen capture, and then I print it out on my printer, and that gives the route. Explanation of problems incurred. For example, in Central Illinois at my third gas stop, I was unable to get a dated receipt. I asked the attendant to sign his name on the back, but he refused to do so. They almost always will do it, but in this case, they're just giving you the example. The phone number at the station is, and there it's 555-555-1212. He will verify that I was there at 10 a.m. on August the 4th. I've never had to go to that route, and I've got over 10 iron butts. That's not a lot for some people, but it's not a beginner either. And then your application for the ride. You'll get your name, your address, your contact number, your email address. Have you ever done an iron butt ride before? You'll get an iron butt number, the name that you want on the certificate, your age, whether you're male or female, used only for statistics. Did you ride with anyone else in the group? I did. I was Darren. Shout out to my boy at Texas Small Town Rides. Start. This was a Sanasaur, actually, which is the... I did this on a 2018 Harley-Davidson Road Glide Ultra, and I did 1,057 miles. And actually, there's always a little discrepancy, so don't be too alarmed about it. My motorcycle recorded 1,057 miles. The GPS device, which was my phone recording the route, recorded 1,044 miles. And I did have a Spotwalla link for this particular one. So my phone recorded it and then tracked me as I went around, and that link was in Spotwalla. You can do that when you're doing the electronic submission, when you do your electronic submission, or even if you handwrite that stuff out on those forms and send it in, you can still send your link if you write down the link. So that's kind of what an iron butt is, what you need to think about. If you're going on touring, you might want to carry some tools with you. I've never had to use them, but being able to plug a tire would be a good idea. Planning a little bit, looking at the weather, and planning for your gas stops. On your first one, because it's new, use the checklist, get your receipts, take the pictures of your odometer. Plan for a 24-hour period of riding. Even though it may not take you that long, our most recent one, we did it in 15 hours. But our first ones were 22 hours right there at the nose because we were a little unfamiliar. As we got better with our gas stops, our economy of time, we did better and better and better. We've improved where we've got it down, so now we know what we need to do. And we're almost ready. We've never done this, but we're getting close to the Bun Burner Gold. We want to do 1,500 miles in 24 hours. We've done a Bun Burner. We did 1,500 miles, but we took all 32, 33 hours to do it. That's when it's Earth, Texas to Moon Township, Pennsylvania. And that's what we did around Labor Day of last year. And then we came back down through Tennessee. And you can catch us on Tail of the Dragon over at Texas Small Town Rides, and where part of that trip is recorded for you. And if you have any questions about iron butts that I may have not have covered here, Again, I'll put that link so all the rules are going to be detailed for you. But if you just want the wisdom, or have some questions that I may have not have considered, ask me in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer those. If you have any video ideas for me about iron butts, let me know too, and I'll make a video about that. I hope to catch you on the road. This is Jimmy the Bearded Biker with Moto Nation USA. I'll see you later. So here we are. We've got the bikes in the driveway of the house. We've gone for a short ride on the wrist bend. Pretty sweet. The other half, Texas small town.